If you saw this child, would you say he is cute? Or would you question what is wrong with him because he has Down syndrome? Or what if you ran into this woman? Would you stare? Would you think she's disgusting because she suffers from anorexia? Or would you see her and have a cup of coffee, maybe even ask her on a date because she suffers from depression? Mental illness is not always obvious. 1 in 5 adults in the US suffers from some kind of mental illness. That's roughly about 45 million people in the US. And 1 in 5 children between the ages of 13 and 18 also experience mental disorders. Mental health is the largest health burden facing the college-age community, yet only 40% of those diagnosed with behavioral health disorders seek treatment. These are people you go to class with, the person you study with at the library, or maybe even a close friend. As college students, my classmates and I thought we should try to understand this. We did some research and we wondered, do our peers understand this? So we asked a few UCF students what their thoughts were on some mental illnesses.
Express what bipolar disorder means to you on that sheet of paper. Please explain what you wrote or drew.
Okay, so when I think of bipolar people, I think of them being crazy, mad, or depressed, and they continually switch between those 3 states. So in the top right, I have somebody trying to shoot somebody else with a gun, so they're mad and crazy. And then right below them, I have them in another state of being by themselves, so they're alone and depressed.
Express what ADHD means to you on that sheet of paper. Please explain what you wrote on that sheet of paper.
Well, when I think of ADHD, I think about a person whose mind just kind of goes everywhere. So I drew like a person in the middle, and there's like their thoughts, and they're just thinking about like a million different things at one time. Because I always think about people who they don't they have a hard time focusing on stuff. You know, they can't stay on time.
Express what schizophrenia means to you on that sheet of paper. Please explain what you wrote.
I have no friends, so I make up my own. I feel like people with that kind of disorder, honestly, are just playing with imaginary friends, you know? They can't make up their own, they can't fit into society, so they drift off and just make their own little society, their own, which honestly is pretty stupid to me, because you need the real world to survive. You can't live in an imaginary world where everything's all happy and free. So they need to drop it and, get back into reality, or just move on.
After hearing what these students had to say, we decided to host a mental health awareness event. We invited these students to attend and we discussed a variety of mental illnesses, including but not limited to anorexia, bulimia, schizophrenia, anxiety, and depression. We gave students the facts and let them share with each other their thoughts and what they were able to take away from the experience.
Express what depression means to you on that sheet of paper. Explain what that picture means to you.
I think depression is something that is hidden from a lot of people and it's very internalized. So I just drew a picture of someone who's crying and it's within themselves and not many people can see it. And I think the hard part about it is that it's not something that surgeons can go in and go fix. Like, you can't just go in and operate and remove depression. It's something that's always there and has to be worked on. And I think a lot of people have a hard time coming to terms with it because it's not something that's like physical like most other diseases.
Describe what anxiety means to you on that piece of paper. Explain what you wrote on that piece of paper.
Okay. Alright, so the following are just a couple words, and I put it in blue just because blue tends to symbolize, like, I don't know, that feeling of sadness, that feeling of just like, kind of, you know, just kind of dark, you know, you don't really want to talk about it. The biggest thing for me is probably fear. I know people with anxiety, they have so much fear, and I think we can all probably relate to that in some shape or form. We feel that. Nausea, just because someone who's going through anxiety, they can't eat, you know, they can't think, they are not in control, they're sick, they feel sick, but you can't call into work and say, hi, I'm feeling anxiety, but I can't come in today. You know, there's a stigma behind that. It's nerve-wracking, and you feel like nobody understands you.
Mental illness is real. It can affect anyone. It is not a choice a person makes, rather something someone has to live with every day. We must support these people, whether it may be a classmate, a roommate, a random person on the street, or even a close friend. If you see someone that may need help, tell someone. UCF Cares provides support and help for all students. CAPS is another resource here on the university campus, as well as victim services. If you're not a part of the UCF community, then nationally there is a hotline available at 1-800-273-8255. If ever you need to go on a website, there are websites available like Suicide Prevention Lifeline, mental health resources for college students, and mental health resources for veterans.
You've carried on so long, you couldn't stop if you tried it. You've built your wall so high,